I want to start this part of the series off by talking a little bit about textism. We looked at some studies in class that actually show that texting improves kids' performance in language. And I want to start off this way because texting sort of gives us an idea of how children are reading and using their words online to communicate, and how this actually enriches their academic performance. So the first study we looked at in class was by Wood and others, and it showed that texting actually improves kids' performance in language. 243 participants were given a series of tests listed above, and after the study was reperformed, children actually showed improvement in their grammatical skills. The next study consisted of 65 kids aged 11 to 12, and they were given 2 tests. Those who abbreviated more and used textisms regularly actually had higher verbal scores than those who didn't text. And there was really no evidence linking the number of texts sent and the knowledge of textisms, and those who used more textisms performed better, probably due to creativity and the phonetics involved. In general, these results meant that more textisms actually helps kids score higher on their tests. In the next study by Kemp, textisms were found to make writing texts a faster process and debunk the popular media assumption that textisms are causing literacy problems. Many parents think that if their children text through weird lingo and everything, that their child is not going to develop language properly. However, this was shown to be false through all of these textism studies. According to BBC News, texting can actually boost children's spelling and grammar. Just over 160 children participated in this study. The researchers compared spelling and grammar in formal tests and in text messages at the start of the project, and then compared their results after a year. The results showed that the most creative texters were among the best spellers. The children were asked to copy out all of their text messages over a 2-day period. The researchers found that the use of ungrammatical word forms and unconventional spelling in texts was linked to better spelling ability 12 months later. This is actually especially true for younger kids who were in primary school at the time, because there is a critical period for language development. I actually took this course entitled Psych 413, Language, Mind, and Brain, and we actually learned that there is a critical period for languages, and researchers aren't entirely sure because it may be different for a lot of kids. But the tendency is when kids are younger, they're able to pick up language faster. So texting while you're young can actually help kids learn English faster. In a study performed at Grant MacEwan College in Canada, it was shown through a series of tests that internet use impacts cognitive development more than socioeconomic status. Children who had computer access had higher test scores than those who did not have access to a computer. In class, we learned that the internet can also help children's reading skills. In a similar study with low-income children, the children who used the internet more showed greater gains in GPA and reading test scores. Math test scores were unaffected by internet use, but how could we change this? My idea is that schools should implement more online resources for children to use for their math skills. That way the internet can be used to its full advantage and kids can do what they enjoy, using the internet. With sources such as Khan Academy, and for anyone who remembers FunBrain, sidetracked, teachers should take advantage of these brainy websites and use them to enrich kids' learning all around. I have provided some pretty solid evidence that textism and spending time online actually increases reading ability. Parents everywhere are concerned that if kids spend too much time on devices, they will fall behind in reading, and they're not taking advantage of the public library's reading programs. So how can they learn to read so well? If a parent truly wants their kid to enjoy themselves and read, a good solution is ebooks. The concept of ebooks was widely debated in class, and it's still being debated today. There are advantages and disadvantages to this idea, but I'm going to discuss the advantages here. Also, according to recent studies, children are more likely to pick up an iPad than pick up a book, so it's easier for parents to encourage their kids to read on their tablet devices. According to SuccessNet, digital books serve more benefits than print books for children. Children can expand their vocabulary by looking up new words. In addition, ebooks are very portable, so they could take them on the go on long car rides to entertain themselves. According to the American Psychological Association, one of the cognitive aspects for which benefits have been consistently observed is visual spatial skills. This was also one of the positive effects briefly mentioned in class. Computer gaming contributes to visual spatial skills, at least when these skills are assessed immediately following the computer activity. So parents needn't worry about those kids who play video games because they could actually be beneficial to an extent. Why is it important to discuss visual spatial ability? Visual spatial skills are of great importance for success in many fields, according to professors at Johns Hopkins University. Kids who need to improve their math skills or dream of going into STEM fields someday, visual spatial skills are extremely important for orienting yourself and adapting to the new technology in the world. So the point here is, if children use more technology, they'll better able to understand it, technology will improve, and the world will be a better place. A topic that we didn't really cover in class, but I sort of want to mention here, is how the internet impacts children's creativity. Does the internet dull children's creativity, or does it encourage it? According to Forbes, technology actually enhances creativity. As we become a more technological society, we also become a more creative society, because many of the rote tasks that are used to take up a lot of our time and effort have been automated. Technology encourages children to have more creative experiences. When children are online, they can find things that interest them. They may dream of going to Disney World someday by looking at all those pictures of rides online. Kids who want to have an artistic side could log on to Microsoft Paint and paint themselves a beautiful picture. In class, we looked at another idea known as the digital divide. The digital divide is basically the idea that there is a technological gap in the world today. In other words, there is unequal access to technology. Not everyone in the world has access to it. According to Aleph Molinari's TED Talk, 70% of the world does not have access to the internet. Continents like North America and Europe are dominating the technological sphere. Individuals in other countries remain unaware and are unable to participate in this technological revolution. Now, Sarah, why are you talking about the digital divide in a video on child development? The truth is that children can actually be the source that helps bridge this gap. Studies show that children who have access to computers and the internet at home have higher self-esteem as a result of developing new skills and taking a proactive approach to learning and exploring their interests. A number of organizations have made it their mission to improve the educational, social, and economic opportunities for disadvantaged students and their families by providing them with computers and technology skills. This is sort of hard to believe, but there's actually unequal access to technology in the United States. So if more organizations were to provide technological help, assistance, and devices to those in need, then more people would know how to use it. And therefore, when kids grow older, they can change the world by becoming part of these organizations and teaching the rest of the world about technology, therefore bridging the digital divide. So in these last two videos, I discussed the positive effects that the internet has on child development, and there's quite a few of them. Technology can make kids' communication network bigger, it can make kids smarter, and it could make kids change the world. Technology should be used to its full advantage so more of the worlds can become more advanced. You can go ahead and watch part 4 if you wish. In that video, I discuss my own observations in working with kids to sort of get a deeper understanding of how the media can have such a positive impact on children's lives.